What is going on, buddies? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 14 of the F1 22 Road to GOAT Driver Career Series for the Mexican Grand Prix here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Just 3 more rounds to go in this championship. If you did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out. There'll be a link in the top right hand corner of your screen now. But yeah, the championship fight is getting closer and closer, both for ourselves and at the top of the standings. Everything still to play for these last couple of rounds in the championships to go. Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi to come. And in terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's Leclerc who leads the way by just 1 point over Verstappen. Sainz still sitting pretty there in 3rd place, 9 points off his teammate. We start in P11 today, taking a massive advantage of those grip penalties. We've got a lot of fresh parts in our power unit today, so we can be on some big points. And there is your pulsar to Charles Leclerc, who could edge ever closer to that first World Championship with the victory today. You have to see what goes down in this Grand Prix. In terms of strategy, the one-stop has let us down the last couple of races, and especially last time out in Singapore, we really did miss out on some good points that weekend. So we're going to go for a bit of a risk here, go for the 2-stop strategy today. We're going to go start on the soft tyres, go 2 stops, both onto medium tyres, and we'll load the fuel as always at around 37 laps or so, and we'll see where that gets us. So it's a bit of a risk we're taking on here, but I'm thinking hopefully it'll pay off. We could get some points on the board. It's still very close between us, Alfa Romeo, Haas and AlphaTauri after the point scorers last time out. So let's try and close that gap today, and the comeback for Williams to finish 6th in the Constructors begins now. So we go then, 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix to get round number 14 underway. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Decent getaway compared to the cars on our right hand side. Bottas and Schumacher there. Bottas send us 3 wide going towards that first corner. It's a very long run into turn number 1. We're going to try and close on the top 10 as well, try and move them into the points paying places as soon as we can. Norris is leaving the door open for us to try and go late on the brakes on the outside, sorry, on the inside, and going into turn number 1, and through the corner we go alongside our fellow Brit. Of course, one last time out and go around 3 wide with both Ricciardo and Ocon. With McLaren and the Alpine on the exit, we get the traction and pulling away with the ERS, and we gained a total of 3 places here off the start. These soft tyres already doing the business, and we're up into P8 and chasing the top 7 here. Pierre Gasly, our next target, of course, he's higher than us in the championship. We've got work to do. Let's try and get around him, and of course get those more points for Williams as best we can. Making our way through the second sector, look to the inside, but it's just not enough room to really go late on the brakes. We hit him there, hit the back of his rear wing, but no damage to our car. As you see, the fresh parts in our power unit, going to do us some real damage on the track here today. We're going to see him just move up the rest of the field as quickly as we can. That weapon P8 is brilliant here. We're going to try and go for P7 off of the Frenchman here, going through the chicanes, and we go around the outside of him here, and almost, if we're any closer, we're stuck around the outside of Perez, but decided not to in the end. Alonso there in P5. Spaniard getting around the Mexican, and look to the inside, going into the stadium section. Of course, this is Perez's home race. He's going to want to impress, but not the rest of things going down in P6 right now. And with us snapping at his heels over the last couple of corners of this lap, comes to the end of this opening lap here, running in P7. That's 4 places gained off the line. So brilliant stuff nonetheless. So I dare say that Gasly, Ricciardo and Norris will be chasing us all the way. So pushing to lap number 3 now. DRS has been deployed, and Ricciardo closing in on us as we make our way back into the stadium section. We're a bit too deep there into the corner. On the exit, Ricciardo might try and have a look around the outside. We've got to look to defend the inside. We've gone a bit too wide. Gone way away from the curb. And back on the exit, we've gone way wide again. There goes Ricciardo seizing his chance at the inside. Bit of contact there. We throw the hand up. Norris almost looking on the inside, trying to move up into P8, trying to take away our position. Let's try and get Ricciardo back here down the main straight. I'm not sure if our DRS has been very tight. We won't have DRS, and Norris will behind us. He's getting very close for us into turn 1. Making our way down that long main straight, following the toe into the wake of the Australians. We head towards that first corner. Norris has us on the inside. Let's try and force him. There goes Norris locking up. There goes, he's almost gone straight on. Right up into his teammate, blocking the way for the Australian, allowing us to slide right on through and reclaim P7. Ocon's going around the outside. He'll take P8 behind them. So the McLarens have really lost out here. It's Ocon much out of us now, making his way towards turn number 4. It's been very tight here. Here goes the Frenchman to the inside, looking to make something happen. We've gone way too early on the brakes there. Ocon sees his chance, goes inside, but doesn't have enough to stop us on the inside for the next corner. So we're going to slide back on through and hold on to P7 here. But those soft tyres are losing their grip, so it won't be too long here. We have to come for our first stop of the Grand Prix. But Ocon isn't quite finished with us yet, and we can make our way out of the chicane here. Ocon's got another go at us with the DRS, going towards that next right-hander. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to have a foot on us going into the corner. We're holding our line on the high side, going into the turn, and on the exit, sliding back in front of him, holding on to our position. Nice and easy there. Just trying to defend as best we can, because this car really should be up here. It's pushed into lap number 8 now, getting ready to make our way in for that first stop of the Grand Prix. Going to try and hit the pit lane here. A bit slow on the way in. We had to slow up there a bit too much. It wasn't as gradual as we might have liked, so we may have lost a little bit of time going into the pit lane, but hopefully we won't lose it actually in the stops. So let's make our way in, optimal turn in, and looking for a fast pit stop here from the Williams crew. Can they pull it off? Going onto those medium tyres, 2.4 seconds. Good exit as well. So good stop here, and we're down to the back of the pack, go P20. Of course, we'll have work to do here just to try and close up some time so that when everyone else comes in for their pit stops in a few laps time, we'll be able to try and challenge them still for those points per position. Look how much the top 6 have pulled away there compared to the McLarens and the Alpine Ocon, so we're really holding up there for a decent amount of time. Pushing onto that number 9, we've got a yellow flag there in front of us, and that's Sebastian Vettel's out of the race, the 4-time world champion retiring in the Aston Martin. Not quite sure what for, maybe a mechanical fault of some kind. As we're near the end of the season, these components restarts to take damage and taking wear, and that's cost Sebastian massively here. There's another yellow flag in the stadium section. That's one of the Alfa Romeos. That's Zhou Guanyu out of the race, and that's a lot more crucial for us as well. Zhou wasn't contending for points. The fact there's one Alfa Romeo left in the Grand Prix, that being Valtteri Bottas, means there's a bit less chance of Alfa scoring points in this Grand Prix, which is what we need. There is Zhou there on the left-hand side of us, and he's out of the race with 2 retirees in the space of 1 lap here, and so both cars out of the race. There is Vettel, who seems to be going alright just outside the points in that little train, and he's making his way down the straight, and that's where the engine blows up. The smoke pouring out the back of that machine, and the green machine is forced to retire from the Grand Prix, pulls over to the side. Albon is leading that train now, but he's been held up massively there by the German, who makes his way over to the right-hand side of the track, pulls it to the side, and that'll be his race over with, unfortunately. And Guan Yu Zhou makes his way into the stadium section. The exact same sort of thing happens here. He's making his way through, doing nice and easy behind one of the Haas cars, and the engine just goes on him. He's on the inside there, already pulling the car over, missing the apex completely, and now putting the car, or bringing it to a halt in the middle of the stadium. He's out of the Grand Prix. So 2 cars retiring just like that. Pushing on to lap number 36 now. We're seeing the cars around us initially making their first pit stops, and what should be their only pit stops this race. It's going to be a pure dash to try and beat them out of the pit lanes, make our way through on the exit. We've managed to get around both Gasly and Bottas, and Ricciardo's got just in front of us here. So let's try and get him at turn 1. We've got no ERS though. We've used it all in trying to chase down the Australian on the exit. With the pit stops, making way towards turn number 1. It's a bit late on the brakes. Almost went for it. Didn't have enough room. We're going to try it at turn 2, but Ricciardo sees it coming, and so has to force us a little bit there. We make contact with his back left tyre, and we fall back. So we've got to try and wait for another opportunity to go for it. On the DRS here, making our way back towards the stadium and looking if we can try and make a move on the inside. Very, very late on the stoppers, and we're going to try and outbrake the late breaker. The Honey Badger finding his way around the outside. Also gone way too deep into that last corner, and Ricciardo takes full advantage. We tap his tyre again, makes his way through, and holds on to P12 here. We should see a couple more cars on the exit of the pit lane as they make our way through and down that main straight. Norris is one of them, so let's try and beat him out. We're going to have the DRS down the main straight this time, so we've got the advantage over Ricciardo and a bit of the ERS as well. They come out just around when Ocon and Norris were, so we've more or less come back out exactly where we were, although we've still got to make one more stop, so that's going to cost us massively here in terms of points. So I doubt we'll be able to try and get the full pace out of these guys. So look to the inside of Ricciardo into turn 1. May have made a bit of contact, might have tapped him just a little bit. We've managed to make our way through back up into P7. Alonso and Russell there. The back 2 cars in the top 6. Currently 15 to 17 seconds up the road as it stands. So the chance of us catching them are very slim. Track's starting to cloud over here at lap number 21. Norris looks to the inside going towards that first point. He's got the run out, so we're going to try and go back around the outside into turn 1. And we've got the better run through, better entry and better exit in order to hold on to P7 once again. Go over the curb a little bit there, but Norris might see to go on the attack again, making our way down this next straight. It's been very tight. Will he look to the outside? Let's try and cover him off. If we have the inside going into the corner, looks downstairs into 4. Very tight between us. Norris runs over the curb a bit, a slight bit of contact, no damage done to either of us, and we managed to slip back through on the inside, and still again defending P7 quite nicely indeed. We're pushing to the end of lap number 22 now. Perez into the pit lane, and we're going to join him here for our second and final stop of this race onto another set of medium tyres. And again, slightly slow on the entry, we've managed to make it work regardless, and hopefully this is where things start to get a bit better for us, because we're going to lose all these places. We're going to have quite a bit of a charge to do at the end of this race in order to try and close up and even get so much as 1 point out of this matter. And Carlos Sainz follows into the pits as well. He picked up the soft tyres because he started further back, unfortunately, due to grid penalties, and he's really had trouble in this Grand Prix despite being third in the championship coming into today. So this could start the end of his World Championship hopes if things don't go well from here. But he has to get through us in order to try and get a point paying position. And based on that train in front of us, which I can see Bottas leading, it looks like he's around P10, so we might only be fighting for 1 point today. On to lap 26 here, we've caught our first victim, that being the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Only one more Aston Martin left in the race. Still has a chance there. They're on bottom of the Constructors' Championship as we chase the Canadian through the S's here, looking for some kind of opening. We thought I saw on the outside here, going for it, but run a bit too deep into the corner. Have to stay behind him, and we'll have the DRS going towards that right hander once again, as we have several times on cars in front of him in the race. Looking to the inside into the corner, slight bit of contact there, running Stroll just a little bit wide, and just onto the curbs, and we'll take over P16. And now the chase begins. 7.5 seconds to Sonoda as he pushes up number 31. We are now within 7/10 of the Japanese driver, the AlphaTauri. And they've got a couple of Haas cars. I've got our teammate Alexander Albon in front, Magnussen, Bottas, and Gasly, who holds on to that last points pen place. Just look to Sonoda at turn number 6 and try to go around the outside of him as best we can. If we get the run on the exit, we might be able to pull this one off there. Out of 6 and towards 7, we're almost there past Sonoda. He's still on our outside, but he's going to have to drop back going into 7, and that's a brilliant move there. It shows this fight isn't quite over yet, and we make our way towards the stadium section once again and come to the end of lap number 31. We look to the inside of Magnussen, a lot of contact there. We hit his side pod, but we've just got enough to try and squeeze by if we can. He's still on our inside, but he might drop back into this last corner. No, he won't. He's still there. We've got a bit wide in the exit, but at that last turn, we are now up into P14, and this chance of points is still on. We've got 5 more laps to go. Let's come towards the end of lap 32. Once again, we're still chasing Alex Albon, our teammate, and hoping he won't give us too much trouble here to make our way towards the stadium. He has DRS, but so do we, and we're going to try and go to the inside, and very late, and Albon gives us the room like the brilliant teammate he is, and good exit from us as well. We've managed to gain a bit more time on Schumacher, so here we go now. This is where it gets really interesting. The 4 different constructors all vying for P6 in the constructors, and they've all got a car vying for this one final points paying place. Bottas P10, Gasly P11, Schumacher P12, and us in P13. We're going to try and make a move on both of them here, get around as quickly as we can, give us enough time to try and catch Bottas for the end of this one. He's not too far in front as we make our way towards turn number 6 here and try to go around the outside once again of 2 cars this time. 3 abreast, no contact made at all. Only Exo slipped just about in front of the Haas, and that is us sorted. P11 now. As you look towards lap number 34, rain is starting to fall on the circuit. We'll have to be careful, but it shouldn't impact us too much. The track still looks quite dry, and it's definitely not impacting our chase on Bottas here. He's just 2 tenths in front. DRS deployed, and this could be the points claiming overtake here, or the point claiming overtake rather. There's one on the line. I'm going to try and snatch it here off Bottas on the inside into the stadium section. We've managed to take it away from him, so the medium tyre gamble, the 2-stop has paid off, and we will get a point off of the teams we are battling with in the constructors. Here comes Charles Leclerc on the final lap now through the stadium section, which is now in uproar as the Monegasque makes his way through the last corner in his Ferrari. He's absolutely dominated this Grand Prix as he comes to that last turn to edge ever closer to his first World Championship. He wins here in Mexico after a superb drive, and it'll be Verstappen in second and Russell following him home in 3rd place. But as for us, it's going to be P10 after a meteoric drive back through that pack in order to claim this last point. Bottas 1.5 seconds behind us, done for the day, and Williams moves just an inch closer to try and take back P6 in the constructors. It's going to be P10, 1 point claim for us here in Mexico. What a great race that was. Really thoroughly enjoyed that one, and I dare say that it's deserving of a driver of the day performance, and the game thinks so too, because there we are, driver of the day. Brilliant result, brilliant stuff.
And here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé after a fantastic race. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
And so the rain is forgotten completely by the game. The sun parts the clouds, and Charles Leclerc is the winner here in Mexico. And as I say, inching ever closer to winning that first World Championship for himself and for Ferrari. And Verstappen takes home 2nd place. We're still going to win the chance. And Russell there in 3rd after another solid result from the Brit. Still very close in the Drivers' Championship. I have to go look at that in just a moment's time here.
Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Cohen. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
What a brilliant Mexican Grand Prix with a brilliant result for us, the Williams team. So Leclerc, as I say, wins it. Verstappen and Russell following him home in P2 and P3. Hamilton 4th. Alonso takes 5th in the end. Perez takes 6th place in his home race. He's lost a place, unfortunate for him. The two McLarens of Norris and Ricciardo, 7th and 8th, beating out Ocon for 9th, and will take home a 10th place finishing position, and again snatching points away from Alfa Romeo, Haas and AlphaTauri. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, then Leclerc leads by just 8 points. The gap between 2nd and 3rd is really opened up. Hamilton now 23 points back, and Sainz 34 out, so it'll take a miracle for him to be contending at that last race. We still sit P13 in the Drivers' Championship, but tied with Magnussen and Gasly. Mercedes takes 2nd place in the Constructors, Ferrari continue to lead, and we move up into P8 here, tying Alfa Romeo 5 points off the top. It needs to take a big result, but I feel we can still do it in these last 2 races and try and take P6 in the Constructors. So with that then, you guys, that is the end of this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed. We are closing ever closer to 1,000 subscribers by the day, so if you can help me out with that, it'd be really appreciated. And until my next video, you guys, I shall see you then. Have a good day, and goodbye.